this thing on?
It's on.
All right, we are back though. This is What's Cooking with Fanny Boo. This is What's Cooking with Fanny Boo, episode 48, and we are back though. I'm the boy Chef C with 2 E's, the apostrophe, and the place to be. And to my left, we got
Chef Fanny.
And we definitely have some great insights and information for you guys. But first off, we always like to start off by expressing our gratitude and appreciation for all of the customers, clients, family, right? We consider you guys family, right? So the community, so to speak, right? So I just want to start off by saying thank you, expressing some gratitude, giving you guys your flowers, because you guys definitely deserve it from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah.
So first off, how you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I can't complain, right? I'll never complain, right? Because I don't think anybody's listening anyway. But at the same time, I'm doing great, right? I'm definitely excited to give you guys this information, cover some of these topics, right? And really go through it, though. So we're gonna have some fun today, all right? So just stay tuned, right? Rock with us, though. We got the live going. We got also the folks that's gonna catch this on the playback, right? So we appreciate everybody tuning in and. Drop your comments in the chat, right? If you have any concerns, complaints, drop those too. We'll see if we can address those for you, though. So take us away, Chef Patty.
Yeah. So just real quick before we jump in, right? We do have our first 2 seasonings are coming. We've got those ready just on the last couple steps, so we can have those right on the site for you guys to order, and you will be getting a notification if you've subscribed to our emails. If not, hit the website www.fannyboo.com. That's FANNYB00, and you'll sign up, subscribe to get notifications, and we'll go ahead and shoot you some info on that though pretty soon.
Right on. So is that it as far as the updates, news, or is there anything else, or what?
No, that's pretty much it. We've got the 4th is right around the corner. We've got all these some good hot summer weekends, right? So if anyone's looking for catering locally, hey, holler at us, right? If you're not nearby, we've got these seasonings right here. We've got our new seasonings on the way. We're hoping to have 4 of them out by the end of summer, and then so order those local or not. You can go with that, can't go wrong. We've got the cookbooks with plenty of recipes for all of your main dishes, side dishes, and then even if you're trying to cut a few pounds before the end of summer, we got the meal prep too. So services and the book with the recipes. We've also started posting some of the recipes, right? Step-by-step process online. So check us out. Follow us, like, subscribe, everything, and turn those noties on though.
That's right though. So again, right along with that stuff, right? Make sure you guys are checking out the website when you get a chance. Connect with us on all social media platforms, right? FANNYB00.
Yes.
Again, FANNYB00 though. So thank you guys again. Let's jump right in, right? My favorite part of the show, the burning question, right? It ain't nothing burning around here, except the question, right? But so jumping right in, right? What is a calorie?
Calorie, that is a good question. Technically, it's a unit of energy, right? The calories that are referred to on food labels are actually kilocalories, shortened with the abbreviation kcal, which is 1,000 calories. So the way calories measure energy is 1 calorie is what is required to warm 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. So that's 1 calorie. So
that's right.
That's a scientific breakdown of that. But essentially, it's when it comes to food, it's how many calories does the food have? It's how much energy is your body going to receive from those foods to use in different ways. And then, it breaks down a little bit more once you get into what the calories are made of, what they're derived from, what the makeup is. And that's going to let you know what your body can actually use that energy for.
Yeah.
So, So that's what a calorie is, though.
Right. So, if y'all got some other definition of a calorie, man, make sure y'all drop in the comments, right? Let us know. But for the most part, why everybody's counting calories and why that's a huge deal, we just decided we'll let you know that information. So perfect, right? Yeah, that was perfect. All right, so that wraps up the burning question for today. Moving right along, right? We got our world famous game of Would You
rather.
So do you got any questions? You want to start? You want to pop us off, or what you want to do?
Absolutely. All right, so I'm gonna pop us off with, would you rather late night eats or midday snacks?
That's easy, right? I'm generally not, burning my what's it, burning the witching oil or whatever, but so I'm not up all night, right? I'm generally not up all night, so I'll take a midday snack because I think that's the fuel that you need to get you power you through the rest of the day, and also your body's able to metabolize it and do whatever it needs to do, right? Whether it's a healthy snack or a non-healthy snack, you have the ability and the time to burn that off. You could work out after that. Late night snack, those calories are getting consumed, and that's it for you.
Yeah.
So short and sweet, right?
Yeah. Short, sweet, straight to the point, though. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And in terms of, would you rather, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather gratuity or tipping?
That's a great question. I say tipping over gratuity. Gratuity is something that's just built in, automatic. You don't get to decide how much it is. The establishment does. Tipping is up to the patron. And I think that tipping is best for both sides, both the patron and the service provider. I think when you know that you're working for a tip, you give it a little extra, right? Mm-hmm. So, and as a consumer, I know that you're gonna, I can feel like what I'm giving to you is somewhat of a reward for how well or not well you handled whatever the service is, though. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think once there's a gratuity just slapped on there, it's like, oh well, I don't care, I'm getting it anyways. Yeah. It's tip included. So it's there's that, and then also, what if I want to give you more than what the included gratuity is, and that's not an option. It doesn't always have to be I want to give you less. I might want to give you more. Yeah. So if I was going to give you 25 and then it's automatic 18, like I'm not going to sit here like, oh, let me remove the 18 then add the 25 and subtract that, and I don't have time for that. I'm out. I just want to get the number, put it down, sign it, and leave. So I'm tipping all the way.
Okay.
Tipping all the way, though.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Yeah, so I actually have another would you rather for you.
Go for it.
Would you rather, pretty much when it comes to anything, would you rather a new flavor of something that you like or a healthier version of the same old flavor?
I would have liked an example, right? But it's all good though.
Let's say chips. Let's say chips, right?
Like a new flavor, like a barbecue, like when they came with the honey barbecues, that was fire though, right? Or the sweet barbecues, right? Shout out to Lay's, right? So, so that's like saying either when they went with the sweet barbecue versus the baked barbecue, the barbecue baked, right? Yeah, but I was on board with both though. That ass though for all intents and purposes, right? But I'll say new flavor. I love innovation, and I love when companies are meeting the customer where they're at, so to speak. So if there's new flavors, new flavor profiles that we're discovering as a society coming about, then it's up to the companies to deliver that to us, though. If you got to make a chicken and waffle chip, that's what we need. If you got to make Korean barbecue flavored chips, then that's what we want to see. So at the end of the day, stay up with the people.
Yeah, respect.
Simple, right?
Yeah. Plus, if you're already on the healthy snacks, then how much healthier can it get?
It is what it is, right? It's already healthy, though. Yeah. It doesn't matter about the flavor, really, as much, right? So. Right. Cool. I got one for you. I got another. My last one for you, right?
All right.
In terms of, it's been a big topic. They just announced who got the #1 fry in the country. Right. So for you, steak fries or curly fries?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna say curly fries. Okay. I think that curly fries usually have like a better just like flavor off top, right? Like they're typically seasoned a little differently or battered, as opposed to a steak fry is kind of plain. And while that's cool because you could try different sauces and stuff, like if they're cool as is, then I think that it just kind of opens it up more to just be be a good solid base, though.
Oh, so you're talking about like the steak fries from like the steak place, or are you talking about like how
the
like
steak cut fries?
Because how like Louis Burger used to have the steak fries that was loaded with seasoning.
True.
So if you swung by Louis Burger or Tams though out in LA, right? Then you
Yeah.
could get a steak fry loaded with seasoning. So what steak fries are you referring to though?
I mean, I think I was just referring more so to the cut, right?
Just a thicker one.
Yeah, so just the
you said they didn't have no seasoning.
A lot of times they don't. They're a little plain. Curly fries, either they come like battered or like like Cajun, a little something with the pepper. I do love a good like soft on the inside fry, but I just think like sometimes I just don't always want to have to dip it in something. Like if I'm on the go, I don't want to. If I'm driving or if I'm just on the move, I don't want to like, oh, I got my fries and my sauce. Now I don't have a hand to dip. Like, it's cumbersome. So
no, I'm aligned with that.
Yeah.
I'm aligned with that. But I like a good steak fry.
Yeah.
Just because you're gonna get it's a consistency in the batch, right? In terms of the size, right? You don't have to worry about them being too small, one slim, one soft, one hard, right? If you got a nice batch of steak fries, they're all usually around the same size, right? The same consistency. Yeah. And if they're cooked just right, though, with the right flavor, you dip them in the ranch, it's off the chain. Depending on who you ask, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Is that it, or is there anything else, or what?
No, as far as would you rather, that's all I got. Unless you got a surprise one, that's it.
No, I don't have any would you rather's though, but I'll have some surprise ones for you next time. Though,
all right.
But so in terms of moving right along, right, we got to get to the meat and the grease though of the what we talking about, right? So moving right along, right, to what's greasy in the streets with Chef Annie and C, right?
Hey.
So pop us off then. What's popping in the streets then? What's greasy?
All right. So before we dive too deep into the grease, right? Before we deep fry in here, I did want to take a moment real quick. We have a couple of notable chefs who we've lost in the community, and I want to just go ahead and just give them a shout out and just hey, RIP. But Chef Anne Burrell, you might have known her from the Food Network. She was on Iron Chef, and she was the host of America's Worst Cooks. I believe it was called America's Worst Cooks or Worst Chefs. But she was only 55 years old. She died about a week ago. The ambulance came. They said they didn't know the reason. Now they're saying it's a possible OD because of hundreds of pills that were there. Either way, she was a bright light, in the Cooking Network's community, and she actually had just ventured into like doing improv and stuff, and she had just done her first one the night before, so it's unfortunate. Mother, wife, it's unfortunate. So R.I.P. to Chef Anne Burrell, so there's her, and then another one that I did want to bring up is R.I.P. to Chef Keita Cole out of Nashville, Tennessee. She was the owner of QC Kitchen, which is a soul food restaurant. But essentially, it was an exhaustion thing, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to just remind all of my fellow chefs, my fellow people who are entrepreneurs and advocates of the hustle culture, right? She announced, she was working 24/7 every day, day in and out. She said, "Hey man, I'm tired. I need some rest. I'm taking 3 days off." Never woke up. So, just get your rest in and take care of yourself, you guys. Like, it's really important. I mean, she did a lot of great things while she was here with us, but we hate to see, we hate to lose people. We hate to see people lose people, and it's unfortunate, but just another reminder that you got to take care of yourself. Listen to your body, though. Definitely.
And thoughts and prayers, right, to everybody, all the family and friends close to them, right? You never want to see somebody lose someone, but with every loss, there's a lesson, right? And at the end of the day, health is wealth, 1, and 2. Get your breaks in, right? Don't overwork yourself. Don't work yourself into a grave, right? So, man, that's saying this out, man.
It did, but I had to pay my respects first, just above and all, it's chef life is a community, though. The food community is like, it's a real community. A lot of people do this from their hearts for love, right? We love what we do. We work hard. It's a very highly demanding job, right? In most cases, unless you're super on or running your own thing, like, it doesn't pay well, but it's just a passionate field. So just while we have that tight knit community, I gotta pay homage. So. So with that being said, let's jump into what's greasy in the streets, though.
So, man, this one hurt me hard, though, because this one was close to home, right? 500 plus Thrifty / Rite Aid's, right, will be closing down. So the company hopes to be acquired to continue distribution, right? But they're shutting down all the ice cream locations, though, man. And that's deeply hurt me, man. Cause I remember leaving the track, right, on a hot day, man. After running countless 400s, right, and then Pops pulling us over at the Thrifty ice cream, right. The ice cream was 25 cents a scoop, right. So I wouldn't get the cone, right, but then I would get the cone. This is how I was tricking them, though. I'll get 2 scoops in the cup and put the cone on top on their ass, though, and they ain't no way hit them. But man, I love the good Thrifty ice cream, right? They used to have the best flavors, though. Yeah. Some of their ice cream was good, but it was letting it go for too low, though, man. So hey, salute to them, man.
Hopefully they get acquired. Hopefully they get acquired and keep it alive.
Or hopefully not, though, man. Because if your business practices ain't what they need to be, you got to innovate. You got to innovate, though. You ain't innovate, though. Yeah. So it is what it is. Another one bites the dust, though.
It does. On that note, man, I was just at the grocery store. I was just at the Kroger, right? And then I popped open my news, right? And then I saw on there, they're closing over 60 locations in California. And so Kroger in California is not Kroger. It's Food for Less and Ralph's.
Okay.
And so what happened is, it's going to be $100 million loss for them closing all those stores. And while they do plan to move all of those employees to nearby locations that stay open, it's heavily due to the failed $25 billion merger with Albertsons. And they had some leadership changes. So they're hoping to gain something back from that loss, right? That's that L. But yeah, no, it's that's tough.
Yeah, that's sad, right? You see a lot of these large retail stores closing down, having to lay off a lot of the workers in the hardest times. So you wish them well, but at the same time, man, their price is too high. They don't have enough bang for the buck, no value. There's no reason for me to pick a Kroger or a Food for Less or a Ralph's over a Walmart or a Target or something else where it's just a more comfortable and a more valuable experience as a consumer. More convenient. So at the same time, man, you hate to see it, but you love to see it at the same time, man, because that means it's time for open commerce, though, right? Open up the commerce, though. So, and then also with the merger, right? So they had a lot going on. I had actually got some stock in that. You know what I mean? Once it was going through, so that's why it's like you see that, and it looked like the SEC had stepped in. Like, oh man, they about to try to create a monopoly, but that wasn't what it was, though. It's just two struggling entities trying to come together. Though. So hey, now you see with the result of not being able to do so.
Yeah, man. But yeah, no, best of luck to everybody who's being affected by that.
Thoughts and prayers. Right? Always, at all times.
Always. That being said, on the note of grocery stores, right? Snacks. So Texas has actually passed a law that some of your favorite snacks are now going to require a label that says not recommended for human consumption. And I'm not talking things that aren't intended to be human snacks. This is like your everyday chips and candies and stuff like that. There's a list of over 40 artificial dyes and additives, and if any of those are in the food products, then they're gonna have to have that label on them.
That's crazy.
And that's starting in, I believe, 2027.
And that's crazy, but that's right on, right? And keep doing your thing. Administration, right? Salute to RFK. I was like RFKJ. I've been calling him RFKJ the whole time. I was gonna blow up. I was like, hey, Robert Jr. though, Robert Jr. RJ. Hey, shout out to RJ, though.
And then also, but I like the direction that Texas is going with what they're doing with the food, right? Sure. Because they also just banned, the governor just signed a ban on the sale and distribution of lab-created meats. So, it's like, I'm all for sustainability. I'm all for, what's best for the planet, but lab-created meats, that's not meat. So, it's like, don't create something in a lab and slap a label on it and sell it to me like something else. Like,
absolutely.
Like if I want a non-meat product, I'll go look for a non-meat product, plant-based product. Like, I don't want it.
And the irony of it is they're always encouraging us to stay away from processed foods and processed intake, right? But how many processes does it have to go through to create meat in the lab? So,
exactly.
hey man, hey,
Exactly.
answer that for me though in the comments though. That's cool though. And that's just a little quick list of artificial dye replacements, right? As we do try to get rid of some of those, right? So Red 40, you see that in a lot, most of the products, right?
Yeah.
So one of the main replacements for that is beet juice, right? So think about that. For yellow fog, you see that everywhere though. I remember that goes all the way back in the day when they was trying to ban that when people was drinking the Mountain Dew back in the day though. I remember back when we was kids. And they say a replacement for that is turmeric. Right?
Easy.
Turmeric, right? It's a little spicy, but I don't know. Right? Then as far as yellow 6, right? Paprika.
Yeah.
Right? And then blue 1, spirulina. Blue 2, red cabbage. Green 3, matcha, right? So these may be suitable replacements for some things, right? But they're not going to be able to replace some of those dyes that some of these large companies, drinks, chips, etc., right?
Yeah.
So keep an eye out on that. Make sure you're reading the labels, do your research, and health is wealth, though. So man, if you got to second guess it, then don't buy it, though. This is what I say.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much. And then just real quick, another one that's getting banned, right? It's banned in the U.S., Spain, and parts of Europe is wheat thins. And that's crazy. Man, I loved wheat thins growing up, though.
I think they're banned in the U.S.
They're not, but it's coming soon, though. It's coming soon.
Okay.
I think it's coming soon because the reason that they got banned actually is because they have a BHT, which is a butylated hydroxytoluene, which is linked to endocrine disruption, which is the hormones, organ system toxicity, and cancer. So you're just starting to see it. Like a lot of this, Europe seems to be very much ahead of the things that are being distributed that need to be banned, and then not too much later in the U.S. they're getting banned too, either state by state or all together. So, hey, if you like it, cool, but just know those are the risks going into it.
Yeah, and you start to see some of these foreign countries, right, start to implement practices that we should have been implemented.
Yeah.
We see it a lot heavily in some of the Asian countries, right, as Europe, UK, etc., right. So keep your eye on that. Keep your ear to the street. You don't want to consume something that's going to take you off your feet, though.
Facts.
Right? Bars, right?
Facts.
So bars, right? So
Facts.
if you caught them, you caught them. If you catch them, you catch them, right? So cool. And then outside of that, right, I was just seeing. See, we might have to do a whole episode on this shit, right? Because they're starting to say that they're trying to vaccinate us through the food, right? So that kind of takes us into the next one, right? So, from what we're hearing, right, the bird flu vaccine is being administered to organic chicken sold at Trader Joe's, right? So that's crazy. I don't know the why behind it, but the what, it sounds crazy though. Yeah. So if you shop at Trader Joe's and you buying some of those preloaded chickens that already got the bird flu in them, be careful. Yeah. Be careful though, man, because at the end of the day, hey, what you eat, you are what you eat, right? So if you are already eating stuff that got these harmful chemicals in it, then hey, what you think's gonna happen to you though, man? So keep your eye on the swivel, keep your head on the swivel, and always keep your pivot foot.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy because like you hear about stuff. It's like Trader Joe's supposed to be healthy, right? It's supposed to be the better option. So much so that they try to force it on you, though. I just saw in Sherman Oaks they had opened a location literally across Sherman Oaks, California.
Okay, talk to the people there. So, it's nationwide. We got a nationwide audience.
Nationwide. So Sherman Oaks, California. I saw they opened a Trader Joe's right across the street from another one, and they were saying it was like a mishap on the calculation for construction. So they were doing the construction, they kept pushing the open date, and then the old location had to just renew their lease because they didn't have a choice. So now they're there for at least 3 more years.
3 more years.
And the other one just opened, and the other one's brand new. Everything's better. It's nicer. It's got all the amenities and stuff. So I mean, either way, they both carry that mRNA bird flu chicken though. Yeah. So watch out for that though.
But see, at first when I saw that, I thought it was like, man, somebody messed that up, right? But then when I think about it, I can see, right? Because with these construction projects, sometimes they don't meet the deadline. Sometimes there's various effects. The weather, they had the fires out there. They had a bunch of stuff that could have delayed that process.
That's true.
But you can't delay the profits, though. You know what I mean? So if you already have a stand-up store, are you going to cease production and then wait? Or are you going to keep it rolling? You got to keep the party rolling.
Yeah.
You got to keep the party rolling, though. So salute to whoever's in the decision. You got to make tough decisions in the ownership. So I salute.
Yep, have that foresight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so earlier we did a would you rather with the late night snacks or late night eats or midday snacks. Carl's Jr. just opened. They just released this build your own box deal, which comes with a sandwich, a side, and chicken stars are $5.99. It's only available from 8 till close. And that's cool. I appreciate the deal, but I think it's crazy to have like special things like that just late night on like, it's just like big back activity. And I hate to say it, like, but it's like, you don't need to be eating no fried chicken and fries and a greasy burger and the carbs from the bread and all that in the middle of the night. So I don't know. For me, I'm just like, that's just, it's doing too much.
I don't see what the problem is though, but the point what they're promoting is the BYOB. I don't think it's the meal. Like people gonna eat late night regardless, because you got to think about people got different work schedules, night schedules, right? So you might have to get off. There's nothing else available. You don't have nothing at home. You got to stop at a quick CJ's to get you something. Right, and you might have a little bottle on. You might
it's build your own box.
They're
flipping it like BYOB, but it's build your own box.
I'm like, they're going crazy though. Hey,
yeah. So the BYOB is build, because I thought it was build BYOB, bring your own bottle, whatever, right? Regular BYOB, but it's build your own box, so you can pick from like a chicken sandwich or a burger, fries, or the onion ring. You know, like a couple of things. But I'm just like, man, that's just a heavy something to have late night though.
Hey man, you gotta eat to live though.
It helps as well though.
You gotta get how you live, man. So ain't nothing wrong with that. But speaking of that, right? I seen Wendy's, right? They had launched the Takis Fuego chicken sandwich, right, with the Fuego fries in late June. Mm-hmm. But now consumers are getting sick due to the over processing, right? So people are complaining of stomach issues, right? Having digestive issues, etc., right? So man, be careful, man. Hey, I don't know if you like Takis, but you need it on your burger. I guess be my guest, right? But at the end of the day, right? What's all that? Get you a bag of Takis, get your little burger, and call it a day, right?
Yeah. And far and few in between on those Takis off that red 40, but hey, to each his own.
If it ain't even beet juice, right? So I don't need it.
And you know what is crazy? Because like Wendy's was so hyped up for launching those Taki fries, they didn't even make the top fry list though.
Fact.
So
speak on it.
So there was a top fry list, right? You try what you want, but you're not on it. So the top fries in America by consumer voting. I don't know where the votes were accumulated from, but top fries are in this order. In-N-Out got the first one, got number one. Followed very closely by Shake Shack. Then it was Freddy's, which I've seen out here, little burger spot, right? Bojangles, then Chick-fil-A, then Raising Cane's, followed closely by Zaxby's, Arby's, then Hardee's and Carl's Jr. right after, and then last on their list was Checkers or Rally's, depending on where you're at. Yeah, so. And that's crazy. I would have put the last three up top though.
Well, we've kind of covered a similar thing to this though, right? We asked folks who they thought was the best fries, right? I think the vote was either In-N-Out or what's it? Was either I can't remember if we did, because we did one with the best burger, best fries, right? So the votes, you know, I had to go back into the research to see what the votes came out. But man, drop in the comments, who got the best fries to you though, man? Is it In-N-Out? A lot of people hate on In-N-Out. If you don't eat them fresh, a lot of people say they don't have that ride value though, right? That they don't travel well. My experience with In-N-Out, they're good. They're the healthiest fry that's on that list.
They are.
In terms of being lightly salted with fresh grease, right? Fresh cut potatoes, but I don't do a lot of eating out. So if you're a habitual big back and you're always in somebody's drive-through, let us know who got the best fries and why in the comments.
Let us know.
Facts.
And which is, it's crazy that just came out and it was like going crazy, like everyone's finding out In-N-Out was voted best. In-N-Out's facing a $3 million lawsuit right now. One of their former employees at the Compton, California In-N-Out was terminated. African-American employee terminated because his hair was too long, so he started getting it braided to accommodate, because their rules are that it has to be your hair has to be neat and tucked into their company issued hat. his hair got so long it just wasn't fitting into the hat. I guess he had the sideburns too.
Yeah.
And then they told him shave it, so he left and he didn't come back because he said he's not shaving it, he's not cutting it down because this is cultural. It's for him though. That's his culture and he's not doing it. So they terminated him, and that goes against the California Crown Act, which is supposed to protect cultural hairstyles.
Yeah.
So,
but newsflash, buddy, you're not gonna win that. You're not gonna win that, buddy. The rules is the rules, right? If you didn't want to work there, if you didn't want to abide by the rules, they have it in the manual. Then you gotta go. When you're working in food and beverage, I get it because the Crown Act was to protect students in the schools, in the school system, not some joker who's 20-something years old working at the fast food spot who wants to have his locks hanging in the fries. Get your shit out the fries. Tie it back though. So hey man, salute to In and Out, right? Hey, hope y'all beat that. But if y'all don't, hey, whatever though. But at the same time, hey man, did some of y'all workers y'all need to get it together, man? Y'all sound like some of y'all are looking for a handout. So
any opportunity, right?
Yeah.
But it's not just the workers. The customers are out here trying to sue too, right? There's this barbecue spot, Bill Miller's Barbecue in San Antonio, Texas, is getting sued for $1 million after a child received second-degree burns from their dangerously hot barbecue sauce. And I saw what had happened was, I guess, the employee came out with a tray full of food. They had the hot sauce, the spicy barbecue. No, it was a description on the case.
I need a video.
Yeah, I didn't see a video, but they said that they had the barbecue sauce in the containers on the tray. They weren't covered. She spilled the tray got tipped or whatever. The sauce spilled on the child. Child got the burns. There. That's it. Because when I first read it, I was like, why is the kid getting the dangerously hot barbecue sauce anyways?
Right.
But then once they presented it like that, I was like, oh, that makes sense. But it's like, man, like, y'all out here flipping sauces that's so spicy it's going to cause second-degree burns on contact.
Yeah.
Like, and people are consuming that. Like, that's in your digestive system. That's crazy.
And I think the best part of that is that they sued for $1 million, but then they received 2.9.
Yeah.
That's fire though. Times three what you sued for though.
Yeah.
Because that flips me right into the next one. What's his name? Richard Montanez?
Oh.
Montanez, right? Montanez, right?
Yeah.
Buddy was a former Frito-Lay. I don't even think he was an executive though. They says executive, but he wasn't an executive when he was working at Frito. But he was the one who tried to say he invented the hot Cheetos. The Flaming Hot dough from his family. They came with the recipe, whatever. They even came with a movie, a documentary.
Yeah, there was a documentary.
So Buddy rode the lie all the time. Man, I ain't gonna tell you more how I know he didn't, but at the end of the day, he lost his defamation suit, right, against Frito-Lay and his parent company PepsiCo. Right, from the lawsuit he filed in 2023 that alleges that the corporations damaged Montanez's reputation by publicly denying his roles in the product's creation. Right. So, when companies got stuff like that, they give employees patents. Right, if they create a certain thing or they have the little thing. So, little birdie of mine knows that companies like Pepsi, Frito-Lay, they do allow employees to make contributions to new products, right, and try to come with different ideas that can help drive the company, right? So maybe he entered into that. Yeah. They he had something, they took something else, and then he felt like they owe him back. But at the end of the day, he lost that, so that's it. Yeah. Hope he's moved on. I know he went on to like go work at some other companies and that kind of thing, right? So salute to him, but too bad. Yeah. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah, and while we're on that, right? PepsiCo, right?
PepsiCo,
So PepsiCo is Mountain Dew, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so funny story. Funny story, not funny story, but apparently a San Antonio, Texas teacher accidentally, she was like a 7th grade teacher, I think it was, like middle school students. But she got the Mountain Dew, the hard Baja Blast, and served it to the students thinking it was just regular Mountain Dew, like, oh, new flavor, new flavor. And she served it to her students in class. The worst that happened was like a little bit of like dizziness and nausea and stuff. Yeah, but it took the students like a few sips to realize like this doesn't taste right. Like this tastes funny. We don't like it. And then she looked at the packaging like, oh, what says new flavor? And so the 7th graders walking around a little tipsy on a Tuesday though.
I mean, what's nasty about that is, and I won't bring this to this pod really, but some of this misconduct from these teachers, it's starting to get out of control, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got to start need people in the classes to watch some of these teachers. Being around some of these young students, though, man, they getting attached, they getting attracted. They trying to, they slipping them drinks. Hey, be careful. Make sure you watching. You talking to your students, talking to your young kids, making sure they had a good day at school. You going back and forth with them, seeing what's going on, what's new. Because at the end of the day, man, some of these people that they really trust and that we trust them to be around are some of the worst folks to be around.
Yeah.
So keep your eye on that, right?
Yeah.
Make sure your kids know the difference between a spike drink and not, right?
Yeah, read the labels.
Oh, yeah, read the labels, right? Reading is
yeah.
fundamental. So,
yeah, because a lot of places had shortages on teachers, and then they end up getting,
they're hiring them out.
They're
giving them a 6-month online course, right?
Yeah.
As long as they got a degree, they'll hire them into a spot.
Yeah.
Some of them, they creeps, but they just haven't had a chance to be a creep
Yeah.
yet. Some of them not qualified to be around no kids, right? Some of them not qualified to be in a position of power. So all of these things given, right? You got power dynamics, you got perverts, right? All mixing it in.
Tell them.
So everything that's supposed to get protected isn't being protected, which are the kids.
Right.
So
exactly.
Man, make sure your teachers got the right credentials, and make sure you parents, stay on your teachers, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you all going to the parent-teacher conferences, getting all up in there for asking them and letting them know that if something is funny, that you will be the first one that they'll see. Dead ass, though, you're going to be the first one, and you might be the last one they see. No threat. No threat. No, you know what I'm saying? But hey, man, moving right along. Don't get before I get too wired up. Don't get me wired up, fired up.
So moving on from that, I did want to just bring up real quick. So Tabitha Brown, we all know she's, all in social media world, health, food, whatever. Not so much anymore, but she actually has ended her 5-year-long partnership with McCormick on her Sunshine seasoning. So it initially was only supposed to be 1 year long. It ended up getting it was so popular, it sold out on the site in like a minimal amount of minutes, couple seconds or something. Yeah. So then they brought it into stores, partnered with Target. It was in the Sam's Club. It was everywhere, right? And everybody loved it. But she said that now as she's, moving on to new endeavors, as she is spending less time in the kitchen, she's just like, she doesn't believe in supporting a product that she's not currently using. Mm-hmm. So that being said, she says she's parting ways and moving on.
There you go.
If you do like it, if you love it, stock up. Or just buy ours. If you want a little bit more diversity, a little more punch, right? We got the honey heat, the lemon heat, the citrus sweet though. And we got two flavors. Yeah, we got two more flavors coming, the Simply Shawarma and the Jamaican curry. So hey, we got it for you though. That Jamaican curry is right along with that Sunshine with the turmeric and the ginger though. Right.
And I'm just that's the reason our shit is better, because we in the kitchen. Yeah. So that's why it's we ain't break no product and then just flip it off to a co-packer though so they can put it out. No shade is Tabitha Brown, right? She blew up overnight, right? By the time I heard about her, she was already world famous, already Target, this and that, right? During the pandemic, right? So I don't know what's going on. I seen a couple of her shows got pulled. I seen this got pulled, right? So I don't know the current state of her celebrity. Right. But at the end of the day, I do know what's popping with Fanny Boo though. So make sure you grab these seasonings though, fannyboo.com. Quick plug though. So so jumping right in, right? I do know the what's popping in the streets, right? My young brother from Red Lobster.
Oh yeah, the new CEO.
Yeah, young CEO from Red Lobster. Yeah. Man, he's coming in making changes. Man, he had a new ad, a new commercial that was fly. He jumped up with his little suit on, little suit tie, looking clean. Salute to the young brother. I should have his name pulled up. We'll get that. But anyway, right? He stepped into the limelight by making an appearance in a commercial, right? And also he's introducing new items and really trying to bring that overall customer vibe back to what Red Lobster used to be. So what he did, he returned the Hush Puppies to the menu, right? They lowered their prices on plenty of items, dropping them down to under $20.
Yeah, plenty under 20. Yeah, is how they're flipping it though.
And then they brought back the bottomless biscuits, right? Everybody loves a good Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuit. And along with that, I seen they got the new craze, which is the seafood crab boils. Though, yeah. Right? So what I'm seeing with the seafood crab boils, right? First of all, salute to the boy Demola DA. I'm gonna just call him DA. I don't want to butcher his name, right? The boy DA, the CEO, young CEO.
Right.
I think he's 35 or something like that. Young brother. He's on the right track, right? So I just want to salute the brother first and foremost for coming in, being innovative, and making changes, and catering to the community, right?
Yeah.
He understands marketing. He understands the target market segment that he's going after, which is the big bags. No, the big bag. The big bags with the black community.
Yep.
I grew up with the Red Lobster. Red Lobster was like, okay, if we go to Red Lobster, you was going to a nice place.
Yeah.
And then until you start going to nice places, right? Like, damn, that wasn't that. At the beginning, you pick your lobster, you know, it was cool. It was a cool experience for a kid, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm starting to see is everybody online is going to do these reviews, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like the negativity I'm seeing from some of y'all in these reviews.
Yeah.
So I seen one lady on there talk about the biscuits was reheated. Then she had the crab boil. She had the garlic butter. It was garlic butter. She said the butter too runny. I was like, yo, it's not a dry seasoning though. So they killed her in the comments as they should. But man, salute the young brother at Red Lobster, man. If you ain't trying to help it end, then you'd rather help it. You know what I'm saying? You trying to destroy the brother as he getting going. So if you guys have tried that Red Lobster crab boil, drop in the comments what you thought. Drop in the comments what you thought. Give us your review, and we'd love to hear it though, and see what is popping for it until we can check it out ourselves. So.
Yeah. Let us know. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it though.
That's right.
And so that being said, right, while we're talking restaurants, something that has become a more popular theme is a lot of restaurants are adding an 18% living wage fee to orders to cut, and they're saying that it is to cover payroll expenses. So they're not even hiding it as, it's just, gratuity, or it's just, service fee or whatever. They're saying it's a living wage fee. Like, they can't afford the payroll expenses though.
And I'm indifferent on both, right? I see both sides, right? Because as a consumer, you're not really, if you can't afford to be in business, then close this shit down.
Yeah.
Right? And then so I'm paying for y'all to kind of figure out y'all shit. Only one person serving me.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. So you add 18% to that. Is that going to that person? Is that trying to get dispersed the money to the collective, like how they do the tips, right? And then on top of that, I'm not really trying to pay more. So if I got to pay more to come to your establishment, then guess what? I'm going to go to the other establishment. I'm going to just eat at the crib. So whoever's establishing these living wage fees, we will be discussing you within the next 3 to 6 months on why you're shutting down. That's all that happens, though. That's all that happens. We pretty much happens. If you go back and watch all the old episodes, you'll see we talk about somebody making a decision, whether good or bad, right? We don't necessarily take a side. And then we come back about 3 to 6 months later talking about how they're closing hella stores. They're doing this. They're shutting down hella locations, right? So I could tell you some locations that some of these restaurants and stores that are on the verge of closing. But I want you to do your research and go back through the former episodes and see.
Yeah. We've been handing them to you though,
Right.
And then so there's that, and then also not so much a fee or anything, doesn't cost anything, but I've seen a lot of stores that sell alcohol are now having these, they're adding these like ID scanners. They're not on the doors. You have to go to a separate like kiosk. You have to scan your ID, and then you have to choose which door you want to open. Just for I think that pretty much just to avoid the 21 under 21 people trying to steal drinks or buy drinks or whatever, fake IDs, stuff like that. So now you need the ID just to access the door. The door won't open without it.
And I bet it got to be a real ID for some of y'all too, though. So make sure you got your real ID on you when you pull up at the L store, though, because it ain't none of that. Oh, you see me, you recognize me. Hey, you can't open the thing unless you got your ID, though. So keep it on you, though.
Yeah, facts. So that's all I've got as far as the grease goes, right? What's greasy in the streets?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off top that maybe I may have forgotten, but I think we're good on that though.
There's a lot of grease in the streets. So you either stay away from what's greasy or stay out the streets. Wise words from a decent man, though, for real.
Yeah. So
moving on, right? We're just gonna move right along. Though we got one more section for you guys, right? We got the recalls, right? We always want to keep you guys in tuned and informed what's going on, though. So we're just gonna run through these real quick. All right, take us away, Chef. Any other
All
recalls?
right. So on the recalls, we have another egg recall. It's brown cage-free and brown certified organic eggs are recalled again for salmonella. So you can expect those prices to go up. Egg whites are not affected, so do with that what you will. Haribo, the gummy bear company, had to do a major recall of a huge batch of their gummy bears due to possible cannabis contamination, which is crazy because I never, for as much as it's gummies, I never thought that they were, same manufacturer. But hey, there's that. Be careful.
Somebody was living there because the Haribos, they're not even cannabis. They're not.
Yeah, they don't have the line.
So
that's on the manufacturer.
Somebody was doing something funny.
Yeah.
Somebody was trying to do something funny.
Yeah. So there's that. The USDA issued a nationwide warning on ground beef for possible E. coli contamination. We discussed last episode how they're not doing the testing on a lot of these, and the level of of bacteria within a lot of these products are no longer a factor. Right. So E. coli, just avoid the red meat. You're good. What else do we have? We have No Brand is the name of the brand, but it's the salted smoked split herring with Clostridium botulinum, which is just going to give you a bunch of vomiting and diarrhea. Just stay away from the split herring. You'll be good. We also have, with another seafood company, the Bornstein Seafoods, cold water shrimp meat, listeria.
Right.
So you hear it's either going to be some form of listeria, salmonella, but the E. coli, right? At salmonella again, we've got cucumbers again. I can't even, it's both organic and non-organic. The only ones I didn't see on the list were the mini cucumbers and the English cucumbers. Those ones seem to be fine. Those ones are the ones that come individually wrapped or packaged individually. So you can go with those.
But to go back to the Bornstein Seafoods, right? That's the shrimps, right?
Yeah.
Damn, so they had recalled over 44,000 pounds of those.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, they sure did.
Cooked, peeled, ready to eat cold water shrimp due to the listeria.
Yeah.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
My bad. I just thought I'd add that.
Yeah, no. I appreciate it. Yeah. My bad.
I'm gonna stay with you.
Hey, keep me sharp, though. But yeah, and then we have Greenwise baby food pouches have elevated levels of lead. So if your infants are introducing them into solids and stuff, and they're eating the pouches, be careful. That's going to be the Greenwise baby food company. Lead contamination, high levels of lead contamination in those pouches. So definitely avoid that. Then we have Kroger and Market Side, which is the Walmart brand. Ready to eat chicken Alfredo has unalived 3 people, and they're even more sick due to listeria contamination. So not sure what the common ingredient is that's causing that, but just the ready to eat meals, the ready to eat individual and family meals, specifically the chicken Alfredo. Listeria is taking people out, though. It's more than just sick. It's fatal. So avoid those. And as far as if you're looking for medicine for anything, the Little Remedies, which is the natural, no additives brand of cough syrups and children's medication, their honey cough syrup actually has Bacillus cereus, which is I probably butchered it a little bit, but it's essentially it's going to cause vomiting, diarrhea. It's just like something like along the lines of like a stomach bug that it's going to give you, but that's typically used for children ages 1 and up.
So shit. I just seen that today.
Yeah,
that just came across my thing today.
And on top of it,
that's crazy.
Keeping all in the know.
Most of this just came across today, though. Being like a lot of these new factories, brand new, they're fresh, they're on top though. So is that all the recalls, or is there anything else?
That's all the recalls I got for now. As always, if you have any food allergies, there's always a ton of foods that are undeclared allergens. Just do a quick scan. Anything undeclared, whatever you're allergic to, and it'll pop up FDA website.
Again, man, always do your research again.
Yeah.
Always read the labels, right? We gave you guys a lot of great information. We're always delivering these recalls to you. You can always hop in our DM for more if you need, right? So just at the end of the day, it's all about communication, right? And if each one teach one. So we know if we could get one person to avoid this shit, then we've done our job. So if you know somebody, we just need a friend to tell a friend, and then for that friend to tell another friend again. You feel me? Because we just here to win. That's all I'm trying to say. So at the end of the day, that's just what it is. So ultimately, again, right? You kind of see we go through a lot of this stuff, right? You see major recalls, major companies, right? Not doing the proper procedures and policies, or not having the proper guardrails in place to make sure what they're putting out is the quality product. So you can't rely on these folks, though. You can't rely on the companies. You can't rely on these large corporations. You can't rely on big food to look out for you. They're halfway. It's like some of this vaccination stuff coming through, right? Bird flu coming through, all that kind of stuff coming through, and the chicken, right? Like, man, I was somewhere the other day trying to get some chicken breast to throw on the grill, and I seen a bag of the chicken was open. It was open in the freezer section, though. So I'm like, damn, that's I had to get up out of there. After what's that? The E. coli? Or that's the salmonella?
Both. It could be both. So it's commonly salmonella, but the E. coli will thrive in any meat, though.
I should have took the picture of the vid, right? I should have been in there, went live. We should have had the little shit like, damn, can't we believe we seeing this type deal? So, man, be careful, right? When you guys are out here shopping, especially be careful. You guys are out here eating out in these restaurants and these fast food places. But most definitely be careful when you're preparing your own food. Make sure you're washing it, cleaning it, using it before the expiration date. All of that good stuff, man. Because at the end of the day, I'd hate for somebody to take themselves out. You feel me? You got anything? Or what?
I mean, make smart choices, though. Make good decisions, right? Make informed decisions, right? Do your research. Can't stress that enough. Just with everything, with food and not. Just do your research. If you don't know, find out. All right, look it up.
Absolutely.
Look it up. We have way too much access to way too many resources, way too many, information sources to not just quit. Everybody has a phone, a computer, whatever. Pull it out. Look it up. Look it up. Oh, I don't know what this ingredient is. Look it up.
Absolutely. And also, right, look up to see if your local neighborhood store that you've been going to is closing down. A lot of these places closing down. So what, I not to give too deep of a recap of what we just been about however long it's covering, right? But shit. Rest in peace to the chefs that was at the beginning, right? The one let us know, thoughts and prayers to the families, right? We hate to see the community lose fallen soldiers, right? But make sure y'all are resting and doing what you need to do, taking care of yourselves, right? Get self-help, self-care is important, right? On top of that, check out these stores, right? Look out for a lot of these stores closing down. Look for what's new. Look for some of these smaller businesses, right? Help some of these local small businesses, some of these farms, some of these agricultural places, farmers markets, right? With fresh produce. That's made where you got to go. As big food and big retail is under, not necessarily under attack, but they're crumbling like cookies, though, right? So be on the lookout. Also, stay ahead of the game. Stay ahead of the game, though, man. Like, you see where RFK Jr. and them are taking it. No foods, no dyes, no artificial stuff. Man, some of this stuff got too much in it. Like, if you're going to get a Takis meal from Wendy's, that whole shit is red. That whole shit is red. It look like it's spray paint color red, though. So be cognizant, be smart, be vigilant, right? As far as you're willing to consume some of these products, man, because everything's not good for you, though. If it may be good to you, but it ain't good for you. You feel me, though, in a real way. And outside of that, man, that's really it, though. Keep your eye out for the new seasonings coming down the pipeline. Also, we got some other new things coming, right? We just been it's been a busy season for us, right? As we got our kids doing track, been handling these meal preps, right? Then working catering jobs. So stay on the lookout for new videos getting posted. You guys got questions, comments, concerns, complaints? Drop them in the chat. Other than that, we'll be back. You feel me, though? So I'm the boy Chef C with 2 E's. Don't forget the apostrophe and the place to be. And to my left, we got
Chef Annie.
Ooh, with the behind the back, though. We are out, though. So this was episode 48. We loved giving this to you. We had a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We appreciate you guys watching, tuning in, staying to the end. So until next time, peace, love, positivity. All right. I was going there.